Inspire Purpose and All with Dr. Ephraim, where we ignite your faith, renew your mind, challenge your limiting beliefs, and empower you to become everything God created you to be. This week, we are beginning a 4-part journey into one of the most powerful forces shaping our lives. It's titled Our Mindset. I want you to stay with me through this series because we are not going to spend our time examining others, not our neighbors, not our spouse, not our co-workers. We are going to examine ourselves. And I want you to begin with one question. What if the greatest limitation in your life is not around you, but within the way you think? Two people can face the same problem. One sees impossibility, the other one sees opportunity. One says this is too difficult, the other asks, what do I need to learn? One complains, the other develops a solution. Same problem, different mindset, different response, and eventually different results. Before we go further today, let us define what is mindset. Your mindset is the collection of beliefs, attitudes, assumptions, and thought patterns through which you interpret life. Your mindset influences how you see yourself, failure, how you see success, how you see relationships, money, leadership, opportunities, correction, and change. Pay attention to this because this is very serious. You do not need to respond only to what happens to you. You respond according to how you interpret what happens to you. And that interpretation is strongly influenced by your mindset. A setback can mean my life is over, or I need another strategy. Criticism can mean to others they don't like me, or is there something here I can learn? An unfamiliar opportunity can mean I am not qualified, or it can mean maybe this is an opportunity for me to grow. That is why mindset matters. When we look into the Bible, the book of Numbers chapter 13 gives us one clearest biblical pictures of mindset. Moses sent 12 spies into Canaan. All 12 spies saw the same land. They saw the same fruit. They saw the same fortified cities. They saw the same giants. But they did not return with the same report. 10 spies said, we seems like grasshopper in our own eyes. We can find that in the book of Numbers chapter 13 verse 33. But guess what? Joshua and Caleb saw something different. Think about this carefully. The giants were the same. The land was the same. God's promises were the same. What was different? Their mindset. 10 magnified the giant. Joshua and Caleb magnified God's ability. And notice what the 10 spies said. We seem like grasshopper in our own eyes. Their limitation had entered their identity. Before anybody defeated them physically, fear had already reduced them mentally. Pay attention to this. When you become small in your own mind, every challenge begins to look bigger than you. How many opportunities have people rejected because they saw themselves as grasshopper? How many businesses were never started? How many leadership opportunities were refused? How many ideas were buried? Not because the opportunity was impossible, but because the person already decided, I am too small for this. Let me share with you live illustration about two people and one opportunity. Imagine two employees are offered leadership position. The first think, I am not ready. What if I fail? What if people criticize me? There are people more qualified than me. Somebody can able to reason with this. That is how a lot of people think about themselves. So the other person refused the opportunity. So the second person is nervous too, but instead he says, I don't know everything yet, but I can learn. I can find a mentor. I can prepare. I can grow into this opportunity. 5 years later, their lives may look completely different. Not necessarily because one person was naturally more gifted. One person was simply willing to grow beyond who they were at the moment of opportunity. This is the different mindsets can make. Your mindset can become your ceiling. Some people have opportunities but they cannot see them. They are gifted but they do not develop them. They have ideas but they never act on it. They have potential but they remain afraid. Because of why? Because eternally they have already concluded, people like me can't do that. Nobody in my family has ever done that. I am too old. I am too young. I am not educated enough. I don't have the right connections. I want you to pay attention to this. Never allow a temporary limitation to become a permanent identity. Maybe you do not know enough today. Go and learn about it. Maybe you are not prepared enough today. Prepare. Maybe you lack experience today. Gain experience. But don't turn not yet into never. Your mindset affects how you respond to change. This is very important. When life introduces something unfamiliar, what happens inside of you? Do you become curious or defensive? Do you ask, what can I learn? Or immediately say, that is not how I do things. Some people become so comfortable with familiar methods that they reject anything new before understanding it. But listen carefully. Experience is valuable, but experience without openness can become a prison. 20 years of experience does not always mean 20 years of growth. Sometimes it can mean repeating the same year 20 times. Growth requires enough humility to say, what I know has brought me this far, but there may be still something I need to learn. This week, I want you to examine yourself honestly and ask, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about my future? Where am I thinking like a grasshopper? What opportunity have I rejected because of fear? Where have I allowed comfort to replace curiosity? What belief must I change for my life to move forward? I want you to write down this answer. Then identify one limiting belief. Maybe it is, I am not good enough. I am too old. I am bad with money. I am not a leader. I cannot learn technology. Don't simply repeat, I can't. Begin asking, what will I need to learn, change, or practice in order to improve? That one question moves you from limitation towards growth. As we close week 1, I want you to remember this. Your mindset is speaking to you every day. The question is, what is he saying? He's telling you to hide or to grow, to fear or to prepare, to complain or to find solution, to stay where you are or to become who you could be. The book of Romans chapter 12 verse 2 teaches us about transformation through the renewing of mind. That means transformation begins internally. Before your circumstances change, sometimes your thinking must change. Before you ask for a bigger opportunity, ask whether you are developing the mindset to carry it. Before you pray for another level, examine whether you are willing to learn what next level requires. And remember, a changed mindset does not guarantee an easy life, but it changes the person who is facing that life. This week, refuse the grasshopper mentality. Stop measuring yourself only by your current limitations. Stop calling yourself incapable simply because you have not learned something yet. Give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to learn. Give yourself permission to become. Because where you are today is not necessarily where you must remain tomorrow. We're going to stop here for today. I want to say thank you for joining me this week on Inspire Purpose and O with Dr. Ephraim. Take this week challenges serious. Identify the belief. Challenge the belief. I want you to replace that belief and begin changing the way you think. Next week, we are going to deeper into what I call the fixed mindset. When comfort becomes a prison, we will talk about why some people resist change, reject new ideas, become trapped by past success, and eventually stop growing. But until next week, renew your mind, challenge your limitations, stay curious, keep learning, keep growing, and keep inspiring purpose and hope. Don't forget to subscribe. And I want to say thank you and God